Hi, it's Stinger Splash back again with another video. I haven't done a video for a few weeks, and I haven't done a wrestling one for a while, but this video here is going to be looking at my TNA wrestling DVD collection. I've shown in the past my WWE collection, which is all the way over there, all the way down, but the bottom shelf is always for my TNA DVDs. Now, this is a full set of all the pay-per-view DVDs released from 2004 all the way up until the very last one of 2010, Final Resolution. Now, I'm just going to start off with 6 DVDs that aren't pay-per-views. I decided a while ago to get rid of all of the DVDs that were sort of best ofs, because a lot of the matches were on pay-per-view anyway. But these are the few ones that I did keep. The knockout ones, just because I like the knockouts. There's a Sting one, Return of the Icon, 50 Greatest Moments of TNA, the History of TNA Year 1, still waiting for the Year 2 one, and then the Asylum Years Volume 1, 2-disc set. So aside from them, it's there's quite a lot of pay-per-view discs here. The first 2 were from 2004, because they started doing them in November. We have Victory Road 2004, and this is quite rare now. I don't even think they sell them anymore, but if they do, this is an original release with the panels at the bottom, called panels. There was, I think, another release which didn't have these on, and apparently these versions are a lot rarer, worth about 25-30 quid each, depending on which one they are. There's Turning Point. The main event for Victory Road was a ladder match between Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy, and Turning Point was a 6-man tag. It was meant to be Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles and Randy Savage against Jeff Jarrett, Hall and Nash, but Savage only just turned up at the end and had his one appearance, did a gingerly placed knee, and that was all he did. And we have Final Resolution. This is the start of 2005. As you can see, Jeff Hardy was a major focal point at that point. This is the first time he left WWE, when he said he didn't have a problem with drugs, which he still hasn't been able to sort out. It had Jeff Jarrett against Monty Brown as the main event. There was an Ultimate X on the show. And at this time as well, because they were still quite new to pay-per-view, they had a lot of guys who didn't last too long at the start of this, part of their run. People like Eric Watts and Kid Cash, Scott Hall, Roddy Piper, they were all around at that point. Kazarian was there, and then he left and then came back after his quite remarkable run in WWE, where he was unbeaten. I think he wrestled 4 or 5 matches on Velocity and then left, but he won every single match and then he quit. So yeah, here we have Against All Odds, which was on February the 13th, 2005, which was my birthday, and this year's Against All Odds was also on February the 13th, so they always seem to get them on my birthday, TNA. This one had Jeff Jarrett and Kevin Nash for the world title. AMW against Kid Cash and Lance Hoyt. Kid Cash and Lance Hoyt were a good tag team, a good big man, little man tag team at the time. We have Destination X. This version is without the panels. I believe there might have been a version with panels, but this was the first Destination X pay-per-view. They had Ultimate X with AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Nick Skipper and Ron Killens, Jeff Hardy and Abyss, Force Count Anywhere, and Jeff Jarrett DDP was the main event for the world title. This is back when they were NWA TNA as well, sold the belt to NWA belts. We have Lockdown, the first Lockdown pay-per-view, where every match is in the cage. They had AJ Styles and Abyss in a number 1 contenders match on the show, and then Lethal Lockdown with DDP, Sean Waltman, and BG James against Jeff Jarrett, Monty Brown and Kip James. This is also the only time they ever did a 6-man tag team Lockdown. Since then they've been, I think, 8 or 10 man tag teams. And we have Hard Justice, which got moved from May to August in later years. And this is where Jeff Jarrett dropped the title to AJ Styles. We had Slammiversary, which I think is where Jeff won the title back in the first King of the Mountain match. AJ, Raven, Abyss, Monty Brown and Sean Waltman. Oh, that's right, it was Jeff was going to win the title and then he got injured, so they replaced him with Raven, and Raven won the title for a couple of months before Jarrett won it back. Christopher Daniels was X Division champion this time, and this is also the debut of Samoa Joe on this pay-per-view against Sanjay Dutt. And he went on his run of being unbeaten in a year and a half or whatever it was. And we have No Surrender, which had Raven and Abyss in a dog collar match. AJ Styles against Sean Waltman, guest referee Jerry Lynn, which set up a match next month, I think, between Lynn and Waltman. Sacrifice, Raven on the front. This was Raven's only time as champion. Raven and Sabu versus Jeff Jarrett and Rhino was the main event. Christopher Daniels versus Austin Aries was on the show. Jerry Lynn and Sean Waltman. And AJ Styles against Samoa Joe in the Super X Cup final. Then we had the first and last Unbreakable pay-per-view. I don't know why they didn't bring it back, because it seems like a fairly decent name. You had Rhino and Raven for the world title in the main event. AJ, Daniels and Joe was the three-way match for the X Division title, which is still regarded today as one of their top matches of all time, certainly for the X Division. And we had the first ever Bound for Glory on pay-per-view. This is where Rhino wrestled 3 matches. He had a 4-way Munsters Ball, and then they had the 10-man gauntlet and the world title match, because Jeff Jarrett was meant to wrestle Kevin Nash and Nash got injured. Also on this show there was a really good, albeit short, Samoa Joe versus Jushin Thunder Liger match. We had Genesis, again Jeff Hardy getting on the cover. This was the debut of Christian Cage on this show, and Jeff Jarrett and AMW against Rhino and 3D. 3D had just joined the company, and then the next month they were on the cover. Turning point when they wrestled for the tag belts against AMW. Jeff Jarrett wrestled Rhino. Sabu wrestled Abyss in Barbed Wire Massacre 1. So that's 2005. Look at 2006. Here we have the Final Resolution. Sting on the cover. This is where Sting came in for his first match on pay-per-view in the 3-hour era. Sting and Christian Cage against Jeff Jarrett and Monty Brown. There was also Samoa Joe against Christopher Daniels, AMW and Team 3D. And AJ Styles against Hiroshi Tanahashi in his one and only pay-per-view match for TNA. Who's of course now New Japan World Champion. Then we have Against All Odds. Christian is champion at this point. Or I believe he might have won the title on this night against Jeff Jarrett, but he was champion by the end of it. Joe, Daniels and Styles had a really good 3-way X Division title match, as they usually did. And there's a really good 4-way on the undercard. Alex Shelley, P.D. Williams, Matt Bentley and Jay Lethal, which was like the start of Shelley and Lethal is being used properly in the company. Then we have Destination X, which had Ultimate X between Joe, Styles and Daniels. Christian Cage and Monty Brown, and James Gang and Bullet Bob Armstrong against Latin American Exchange. Of course, Bullet Bob going in the Hall of Fame this year, and all 4 of his sons, Scott, Brian, Brad and Scott, what's the other one? Steve. They'll be all be putting them in. Lockdown 2006. This is one of the only few that I've got actually, which are UK versions. At the time it was hard to find the American version, and there's a couple of other ones that I've got from the UK, but in general they're cheaper and quicker to get them from America. This had Cage against Abyss for the world title, and Lethal Lockdown with Sting, AJ, Rhino and R-Truth, or Ron the Truth Killings as he was then, against Jeff Jarrett, Steiner and AMW, and Samoa Joe v Sabu for the X Division title. Then we have Sacrifice with the Full Metal Mayhem. This was also where they had the World X Cup finals Jushin Liger wrestled Petey Williams. There was a gauntlet match. Sting and Samoa Joe teamed up to wrestle Jeff Jarrett and Scott Steiner, and Cage and Abyss had Full Metal Mayhem. At the time, TNA liked to have feuds last 3 or 4 months, which they've sort of stopped doing now. But at the time, it was quite good. But they did it too many with too many feuds, doing 3 and 4 months, which seemed a bit long. Anyway, Slammiversary, which had Christian Cage, Sting, Jeff Jarrett, Abyss, and The Truth for the world title. Samoa Joe and Scott Steiner 1-on-1. And the Chris Sabin Kevin Nash match, where Nash refused to put Sabin over. We had Victory Road 06. This got brought back. It wasn't used in 2004, but they brought it back for 2006. With a 4-way match between Sting, Cage, Joe and Steiner for a world title shot. And they also had AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels teamed with Sorrel. I'm not really sure what happened to her, against the MW and Gail Kim. Senshi was in at this point as well. He wrestled Kazarian. Senshi, of course, ended up being Caval, now Low-Ki, back again as Low-Ki. This is No Surrender. At this point, this was where they were really starting to have some really good undercard matches, like LAX against AJ and Daniels. That was Ultimate X. Cage v Rhino. Senshi and Sabin again for the X Division title. Joe and Jarrett was the main event, which was a non-title match. Fans Revenge, as it was called. We had Hard Justice, which had Jeff Jarrett and Sting 1-on-1 for the world title, and the rematch between AJ and Daniels and LAX. And then Bound for Glory, which had Kurt Angle join TNA. Where it was Jeff Jarrett versus Sting, and Sting's career was on the line if he didn't win. And there was also a 6-hour steel cage between AJ and Daniels against LAX, a street fight between Rhino and Christian Cage, and Senshi and Sabin again for the X Division title. So, you know, they wrestled each other quite a few times, but that was a good pay-per-view. It was a good Bound for Glory. And we had Genesis. This is where it really started to heat up, because they got Angle and Joe together for their dream match of the decade. The match was okay. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't bad. And they also had Sting and Abyss, which had the last time they ever changed the title on a DQ on pay-per-view, and Abyss won the title, which really sucked. And we had Turning Point, last one 2006, and the last one for this video, because I think I'm going to run out of time. Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe's rematch, Abyss, Sting and Cage 3-way, and LAX and EMW flag match. So 2006 was a strong year for them on pay-per-view. The next video we'll look at 2007 and 2008. Might get through 2009, 2010. If not, it'll be 3 parts. But eventually we'll go all the way up to the last one, which is the ones that I just got to yesterday. Bound for Glory 2010, 10, and the Turning Point and Final Resolution. That takes us all the way up to the end of the 2010 calendar. So that's it for this video, and I'll be back soon with another video. So thanks for watching, and please rate and subscribe. Goodbye.